Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do Roxy's weekly challenge. I did it last week and I'd like to do it again this week. Now I have to say I seem to be running a week behind, so hopefully I might catch up eventually. So I'm doing the Roxy's weekly challenge week 14 for 2024. Now I'm going to do it slightly different. She kind of used predominantly book pages, as in like texty pages. And I've brought along some image pages. I've brought along some vintage documents. I've got some sort of contents pages from a book. And then I've got these gorgeous pages from like a vintage catalogue. So I thought that I would use some of these types of pages. Maybe we would get some, you know, some different or more not more interesting, just, you know, more you know, variety of kind of looks than I might have done if I'd have just used the book pages, because obviously then that would probably turn out a bit like Rachel's, which might be a bit boring to watch kind of a second round of, you know, similar things. So let's have a look and get started. So I've got this here. Love these. What are these called? Like the fender things for going around the fire. So I'm going to use that page. I've got these ones with the little irons and stuff. They're rather cute, aren't they? So, right, going to dig out my pages, and yeah, I've got a vintage letter here. So let's get making. So she was making the library pockets with the journal cards. So she had a very clever way of making them. Now, just need to decide which way up I want my paper for my library pockets, if you see what I mean. So I think probably... yeah, probably like this, I'm thinking. Oh, it's a shame because look, I'm going to lose this gorgeous little fender down here unless I have it much smaller. Oh gosh, no, way too small. That's ridiculous. Right, okay. Right, I must stop mucking about now. So going to just fold it up. Now I probably would trim these down slightly because they're quite, you know, quite tall pages at the moment. So otherwise I'm going to end up with ginormous bits, which again, this happened last week when I did the challenge last week. So let's just trim my pages down slightly. So I'm just going to get rid of this little sort of header part. Okay, so that's going to just kind of shrink my pockets down just a little bit. Okay, so like that. And then I want to kind of like cut them, not necessarily in half, but, you know, cut them down ready to make my pockets. So I'm just going to take it like this. Okay, now she's got this brilliant way of making her library pockets. So she kind of like folds the whole edge in like this, and then she goes down to cut it down. So I'm going to do it exactly as she's done it in her video. So like that, and then this will fold up there. It's turned out quite a tall, narrow pocket, but again, you know, that's fine. I don't mind because we're going to get then some different shapes and looks, so that's fine. Right, okay, this one. So which side do I want? So again, I think I want this side here. So again, going to just chop the, you know, this little section here off, just because my page is a bit tall. So yeah, go down there, and then we'll go up here like this. Now this one, I'm going to try and do this a little bit wider because that turned out very narrow. So yeah, we'll go over here. This is going to be the opposite end of the spectrum, I think. So right, fold our edges in like that. I love the way she makes things. Sometimes she just has this really like ingenious kind of way about her, doesn't she? That she kind of makes things, I don't know, just very quickly and very efficiently, using kind of techniques that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of. So that's those two. I've got this one here, which is some vintage documents, vintage letter. So I'm just going to fold it where the natural fold was, you know, when it was obviously, you know, folded when it was posted. So I'm going to put it like that. So all I want to do really is fold my edges in like that. And to be honest, I probably could actually fold them in how they're going to be. That might be, oh, will it? Oh, no, ignore me. They're going to be like this because, of course, this gets folded up. Right, okay, so that's that one. So then I've got, I I got this, which is some vintage documents. It's a kind of court document, so I'm just going to take it off of the what do you call these, eyelets. So we'll just take that off there. Actually, I'm going to use this more texty page. Oh look, we've got some plain page, which is going to come in handy for backing our library cards in a minute. So I'll put that with the library card pieces and not get it mixed up. So like that. So this one again, probably take it up here. So from that point of view, want to cut off quite a bit of this. It's quite tall. So let's go across here. And that way I've got this little section, which I could always use in some like flippy pads and things like that. So I definitely won't be throwing that away. So again, we're going to go up here. Do we want it that way or do we want it that way? Oops, not that way. That way. So yeah, then we've got like the plain and then the, you know, the texty part. So again, going to go over slightly wider, so that when I fold it in, I've still got, you know, a reasonable sized pocket. So I did kind of muck that first one up by doing it very narrow. That being said, I mean, I do quite like it. It's quite cute, isn't it? So yeah, let's go in like that. I'm not sure whether I've done that very straight, but oh my goodness. I don't think I'm making a very good job of my folding today. Okay, so that's that one. Right, what else have I got here? I've got some other vintage catalogue, but this time I've got this page, which is like one of those, it's not a fly sheet, but you know, like a title page. So I thought this would make a really, really beautiful one. So I'm going to fold it up there. So again, I need to cut this down quite a bit because as you can see, it's, you know, it's going to make a ginormous pocket otherwise. So let's go down here like that. Okay. Not throwing any of these bits away because, you know, I might just be able to use them somewhere else at some point. Not necessarily today, but, you know, in a different project. So this one will go up here. Now, I rather like this crest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down either side so as I hopefully keep that crest part. So we'll cut it down here and oh gosh, I've done it really wide, really narrow again. Can't seem to judge my widths very well today. So again, just fold my sides in like that. And then this one. Now my crest is not going to be in the centre now, unfortunately, because I had to extend it the other side. But again, I mean, I don't mind it not being in the centre. Oh, it is more central than I thought actually. So it's a little bit off to the side, but not too bad. So yeah, I don't mind it. There we go. So yeah, that one's quite a pretty one, isn't it? Yeah, liking that. Let's get rid of these. Am I likely to use any of this stuff? No, I've got quite strange bits left. So I don't think that's much good to keep, to be honest. Let's do one with our contents page because I think that's quite nice. You know, I always love contents pages. I think they really, you know, they make interesting looking things, don't they? So I'm just going to tear this down. You know, I like the format of how the text is. It's just a little bit different. So it's whether you want the back part upside down or the front part, really. So yeah, I don't really have a preference, to be honest. I mean, yeah, probably doesn't really matter which way round you have it. You know, one part is somewhere along the line going to be upside down, so it probably isn't really a big deal which way round it is. So again, just fold my sides in like that, and this way. Well, this one's a ginormously wide pocket, so yeah, my sizing is all over the show, but that's quite nice because we're going to have different, you know, different looking pieces to look at, which is interesting. Right, I've got some of this birdie page. I do have the book page bundles available on my website, so yeah, and then there's probably, you know, some bird images incorporated in those. So again, you know, I could have this folded up this way, or I could have it folded up this way. I think I'm going to have it this way. So, yep, let's take it up here. And then I just need to be a little bit careful how I do this because, yeah, I could end up really mucking this one up. So, all right, let's try and be a little bit cautious. So I want to go into the side here. Let's hope I have not chopped that bird's face off. Oh, close, look, close. And then on this side, again, go over this one. Hopefully there's not really bird faces so close. Oh, quite close. Look at how close I was to that one. Oh, that's not good. So yeah, there we've got a little bird one. So I rather like that. That was quite nice, isn't it? Might chop the top off where I've got that grey border. I'm not sure. We'll kind of decide when it comes to it. And then I've got some of this gorgeous vintage document. Now I did just iron this because it was pretty, you know, pretty creased from the folds, you know, how it came to me. So I thought that I would just iron it to just get them out and, you know, hopefully make it a bit easier to use. So yeah, I'm going to fold this up here. Now I have got this fold or crease mark here. So this, the only thing is, being a vintage document, it's quite flimsy. So I just need to be careful. And what I might need to do is, after I've made this, I might need to actually reinforce it just so it's not falling apart, if you see what I mean, because yeah, it feels quite delicate. So I'll just cut that down there. Again, keeping all the bits that I cut off because no doubt I can, you know, do something with those. So fold that in on the sides. Oh my goodness. Do you see how it tore here and here actually where the original folds were, because it is obviously quite delicate, you know, where it's vintage. So I just need to be aware of that. And then, you know, I might want to actually kind of reinforce it down here with a bit of glue or something like that if it feels like it's, you know, potentially going to be falling apart. Oh, I've just got one more sheet of, oh no, well I've actually got 3 more sheets of the bird book. So let's just decide which we want to use. Let's do this one so we've got, you know, quite a different colour section or colour pocket. What do we think to that? I don't really like that bird. It's not very attractive, is it? Maybe I will keep this for something else. Let's do, oh no, let's do this one, because then we've got a little bit of other things up there. So yeah, again, going to have to kind of bring it down quite a bit because obviously these birds, you know, they're quite tall. So this one, I should just take this in and trim it down afterwards. So obviously some of this is going to be trimmed off anyway. If you saw Rachel's original video, you'll know what I'm talking about, how she cuts into her pockets, which is the ingenious kind of method that I was referring to just now. Right, there we go. So hopefully that's all going to be good. Right, should we do one more? I've got a few more sheets here. So yeah, probably do one more. This from the Inland Revenue, again, vintage document. So I'm just going to tear that down, separate it from the other piece. Right, it's very large, this document, so I'm going to just tear it down here because obviously it doesn't need to be as big as it is. And then, I mean, I quite like this little scripty part. Perhaps we'll use this section instead. So yeah, do we like it like that? Yeah, quite like that. So again, just fold it up. Oops, to where you want your pocket. Oh no, yeah, like that, I think. So it's quite a small pocket, this one, but I don't mind that. So do we want to have the ledgery side or this side? I can't decide. Maybe this side. It's a bit more library pocketish, isn't it? Having the sort of more ledgery type bits showing. So again, just fold that in here like that. Okay, and on this side like that. Okay, right. Fold that up. Okay, so then what Rachel did is she then unfolds her pockets, and then what she does is she cuts off this edge from the tall part of the pocket, if that makes sense. So the tall part is obviously, you know, the top part that's going to be, you know, the back edge. Just going to mitre these corners in as I go. I hope I don't muck this up. I'm not brilliant with cutting things once they've been folded like this, so she kind of made it look really easy, but I suspect that I'm not making the neatest job of it. But yeah, she made it look really good. Okay, so I've got a bit of a torn sort of edge there because obviously I tore that paper down, but that's fine. And I might just cut that pocket down at the top because otherwise it's quite a shallow pocket. So again, this one, just go in, just cut my edges up. This one's ginormous, so I'm going to have to cut down some of that grey border, I think, because otherwise it's looking absolutely huge, which just looks really weird. I think that's because I hadn't... Oh, do you know what I've done? What an idiot. I've mitered the bottom corner. Should have been mitering the top. Anyway, I don't think it matters, to be honest. So I'm just going to cut the top of this here. And actually, I'm just going to trim that because it's a little bit wonky on the edge. Okay. You could always round the edges as well to kind of make your pockets look a little bit different. So let's do this one. So this one I don't even need to mitre because, as you can see, it's cracked anyway where the original document was folded. I mean, that's the only thing with using vintage, you know, genuine vintage stuff, is often it's very brittle. You know, I mean, obviously it's entitled to be because it's old and vintage, but yeah, it can just make it a little bit tricky to use because it's likely to, you know, to tear and to break, sort of fall apart whilst you're using it, as this one has. But yeah, don't think it really matters too much. So again, just going to mitre this in. I mean, to be honest, the mitering, it gives you an easy way to get hold of your fold lines. So like that. Again, go down along this edge. Oops. Like that. Oh, that one's so cute, isn't it? For some reason, I'm not cutting this one very straight ever, because I think it was the bird one that I did that wonky edge on before. I don't know why. Maybe the birds kind of throw me out from getting a straight edge, I'm not sure. Let's do this one. Okay. So yeah, don't you just love this method of just cutting these edges straight down? I just really like it. You know, it makes it quite easy to make these. They come together very, very quickly because you're just, you know, folding up one sheet basically. So I'm just going to do this one. Not sure whether I've got time to do all of these, to be honest, because I mean, Rachel tends to do about 45 minutes, I think, and make as many as she can in the 45 minutes. And I feel like I'm just, you know, the time's just running away. I'm not really keeping an eye on how much time I've been running for. So I could already be way over, you know, where I should be at this point for making these, if you see what I mean. Obviously, I don't feel like I've filmed for 45 minutes, but maybe I should be further ahead than this in the process. But anyway, I'll just quickly make them, to be honest. I mean, if we end up, you know, some aren't completed, I guess that's probably still the same, isn't it? The same. Right, okay. So I hope everyone's having a good day. It's a grey drab day here again. Just always drab and grey, or grab. Yeah, it's always drab and grey lately. We've had a couple of nice days. I know I did talk about this in my mass making, but yeah, I mean, certainly I don't feel like we're where we should be, as it's well into spring now. It's pretty grey still. But yeah, I think it's been sort of drizzling already this morning. And it's showing no signs of cheering up so far. So that's all a bit of a shame. So I'm filming this on the Wednesday. It will be uploaded on the Friday. So today is the day that I'm going to see the Amy Winehouse movie with my son. So yeah, we're looking forward to watching that. And I shall obviously tell you about it next week in the mass making. What we thought to it, whether we think it's worth watching. I think I'm done. Maybe that's, no, that's fine. It was sort of just folding round and I couldn't tell whether I'd done it a bit narrow, a bit wide, sorry. You know, and it was going to be sort of curved, but no, it's all right. There we go. Okay. There we go. And last one, yay! Okay. I feel like I've made quite a lot of these. I don't know how many I've made. I didn't keep an eye. But I feel like we've made quite a few. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, we probably won't finish these off, you know, off completely, but I can finish them then in slow time. So, yeah, I feel like we've been quite productive. So, I mean, that one, although that's a little tall, narrow pocket, I actually quite like it. You know, it's quite cute, I think, isn't it? So, I've got my glue on hand. Now, I'm just going to literally go in and then glue these down like that. So, just hopefully being pretty quick with the gluing the sides down. So, in fact, if I turn a few of them over, I could probably do like maybe 3 at a time or something like that. So, just to help speed us up a little bit. So 1 and 2. Okay. And 3. Yeah, I haven't even watched Rachel's you know, weekly challenge for the week 15. So maybe I will try and watch that and, you know, do that as well. But I mean, I do, you know, I do love her weekly challenges, but like I say, I've only just started doing them again this year because, you know, things just got busy and I just didn't really kind of get a chance to do them. But yeah, I do quite like dipping in and out of them, you know, when I can. So yeah, I must check out what she did for week 15. There we go. And again, just do the same method. So putting my 3 pockets down just makes it a bit quicker and easier, doesn't it? You know, like we do in the mass making where we do the assembly line style. That's kind of what we're doing here, aren't we? We're just, you know, as if we're on an assembly line conveyor belt, you know, doing them all in one after another. Just very, very time efficient, to be honest. So 1, 2, and 3, like that. Okay. Oh, that one I've made a bit curly, so. And when I say that, when I mean, or what I mean by that, is where the back's slightly wide. So it just has a slight curve kind of to it when you're sticking it down, but and actually once it's stuck down it is fine. I'm just going to cut this down because it was a little bit big but also had that jaggedy edge. So okay, well that just was very quick, wasn't it, to glue all those together doing them like this. So yeah, what a good way to quickly glue them, just like 3 at a time like that. So okay, right, so like that. And obviously, you know, you could do these with anything. I mean, I've done them with book page. Rachel obviously did hers with book page, but I mean, you could use scrapbook paper. Rachel did actually, she used an envelope for one of hers, I noticed. You know, so you could really, whoops, you could really do, or use, you could really use any paper that you liked, you know. Right, okay, so we have made quite a lot, haven't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, that's quite cool, isn't it? Right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to make the little journal cards that we're going to put inside. Now, again, what I've done brought along a variety of little bits and pieces. So I've got here some of these 6x6 papers. These were from a lovely pad that I received in Happy Mail some time back. So straight away they look a bit library cardish because they've got the lines and things. So all I'm going to do is take a couple of those. Actually, I'm going to keep it wider, even if it means that I've just got a slither left. That's fine, because I can always, you know, keep that and use it for something else. So just cut that down on the edge. Okay. So I'm just going to put that in my scraps bin. So, yep. Right. So what I'm going to do, actually, I mean, I've cut this one down, but that's not very time efficient. So I'm going to then grab each pocket and, oops, cut them, you know, fold them and then cut them all in order or in a methodical way, like we did with the gluing just now. Otherwise I could still be here all day wasting my time, or wasting your time, not my time, but your time really. Right, so again, got this little pink one, so that's quite nice, isn't it? So let's put that to one side. I'm just doing, you know, anyone with anyone, if you see what I mean. I'm not really kind of getting too bogged down with which one I'm using for what. I just want to kind of get through them quite quickly. So I like this one with the dark on it, and it just happens it goes really nice with that bird page, doesn't it? So this one, actually, I'm going to switch out with the bird page. I mean, what did I say? I said, oh, I'm not going to be overthinking this, you know, just going to be going with anything. But yeah, I couldn't resist that one because I thought that would go much better with that. Right, okay, then, so I've used up all of those little ledger-y type sheets. I've got vintage document here. So I've got this here with the, it's not ledger because it's not got lines on it, but it's like a ledger, but it's got obviously lists. So I thought this was, again, sort of similar in that, you know, it's got a little bit of a library pocket type vibe going on. So I'm going to just fold that down like that, and then I'm just going to do it in half, and that would then do two pockets, like that. Okay. So yeah, like that. So we've got that one and that one. And is that going to fit in there? No, it's too narrow. Oh, goodness. Okay, so that can go for those two. And then I've also got here, this, again, this is on ledger paper. It sort of is a ledger. I mean, it's got obviously figures in the, you know, the far side. But again, I thought just having the lines on it made it sort of library pocket style. Library card, not the library pockets, the library card style. So again, just going to see where we'd have that. So we could just, yeah, cut that down like that. And then, yeah, that's it. So, right, let's move this out the way. I can just go down and cut these all in to size. So go down, cut this one. Okay, and yep, just go across there. Okay, so oh look, they're too wide. Right, okay, so that one, and then this one here can go in there. Obviously it's way too tall, but I can just quickly cut that down across the top. Okay, do I want to keep that in my scraps? I mean, ridiculous, to be honest. It's a tiny little piece, but let's throw that away. Must not keep ridiculous size bits of paper, because that's just ridiculous. Let's be honest, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, just take this one and cut this down. Do I want to keep this little slither? I know, what was I just saying about must not keep ridiculous sized pieces of paper, but that one feels a little bit more substantial, so I'm going to put that in my scraps scraps envelope. I mean, oh my goodness, mad. Right, there we go. Oh, that's just the right height lip for that. That I can put straight in my scraps pile. Okay, right. So this one again, we'll just use that same method. So cut straight down the edge here. Okay, and then just cut straight across the folded edge there. Okay. And then this goes in, oops, in there like that. Oh no, it's not wanting to go in because it's obviously got those, you know, scrappy edges, which of course are then getting caught on things. So just take that down. Okay, oops, like that. There we go. Oh no, let's use the wider one. Okay, that one's brilliant for there. And then we'll just do this one. Okey-dokey. Again, you know, I might even keep that tall piece. Oh no, I'm not going to actually, because I just suddenly thought actually I think it would look cuter being a bit lower than the height of the pocket. There we go, like that. That one was a giant pocket, wasn't it? You know, hey, I mean, sometimes you need giant pockets, so that's all good. Again, just cut that top piece off. Right, let's see. Oh, I can't see at all how long I've been filming for. Oh, that's so annoying. So annoying. What I should do is probably just check the time before I start, and then even if I can't see the, you know, timer on the phone, I'd know according to, you know, what time I started the video, wouldn't I? And I'd be able to sort of work it out from there. There we go. And then the last one is this one. And we can just clear all the bits off, and we can just then decorate a couple up. Okay, like that. Right. So I'm going to obviously keep these couple of bits. I'll put them in my scraps bin. And then we'll just get rid of all of these little bits of scraps. Right, okay, get rid of all of those. So let's bring in one or two. So let's bring in a couple of sort of quite different looking ones. So perhaps we'll bring in these three. Because they've got sort of quite different looks, haven't they? Now, I've got here some plain paper, which is off of that vintage document. So, for example, this could always back it onto here, so you've got a slightly more solid piece rather than a very floppy, flimsy piece of paper. So, again, it just depends, you know, on your preference. I mean, I tend to prefer, you know, thicker pieces, really. So, I'm going to just glue that down. Whoops, like that. But, you know, that's just, like I say, depends on how you like your pieces finished off, really. I mean, if you're not so fussed, then obviously you might just think that, you know, the flimsy paper is more than fine. Okay, right, let me just get my little glue spreader. Okay. There we go. Oh, glue everywhere. Glue everywhere. So again, just take that down here. And just cut that across the top. So at this point you could obviously round the corners if you wanted to. You know, I've got my corner rounder here, so you know, could do things like that to make it a bit of a different look. I don't think I'm going to bother for this one actually. And then on here, because mine's got quite a bit of kind of detail on it anyway, I don't really feel like I necessarily need to stamp things. I had bought some of my little stamps along because you know, Rachel had stamped some things on hers, but I don't know whether I actually need to, because like I say, it's actually, you know, this is quite a sort of fussy piece of paper now, so it's probably not really necessary, unless I want to put in the back of here and make the back plain. I mean, we could do that, to be honest. Or we could use some of the document that we cut out. Just take this and just see what this would look like in there. Again, just tear that down. Just see how that would look. So yeah, I mean, you could do that. And then obviously that also has the double bonus of it's thickening up the paper, just making it a bit more robust. So yeah, perhaps I'll do that. And you wouldn't even need to go right the way down. I mean, I pushed that right the way in there, but you wouldn't really need to. So yeah, if I just do it like this, and then just a little bit around the top, like that. And just go in like that. Okay, then just take my glue spreader, spread the glue out. Okay, I mean, that's just kind of reinforcing that pocket and making it a bit stronger. So just cut that off at the back, like that. Okay, that's quite nice, isn't it? And then just, I've got some of my number tabs, because these are patterned book pages. I had already thought that the stamping, you know, may or may not work. So I'd brought along one or two things that I thought maybe I would use instead. So I've got here my little number tabs. We can just pop that on there like that. Okay. Oops. Yeah, quite liking that. And then what we could do is, obviously this has already got the lines, but you could actually go back down that. I'm just wondering whether I've got my thin Sharpie. I don't think I have. But otherwise you could have gone down with like a thinner kind of marker to mark your lines a bit sort of thicker. Let me just switch the camera off and see if I can find a little Sharpie. Hold on. Right, bit of a shame. I could not find a black fine marker. So I've got this, which is like a gel pen. It's quite old. But what I thought that I would do is try and do something with this instead, and then use my forest green Stays On, which would show up reasonably well, I think, you know, even though this is, you know, quite full on texty. So yeah, I'm going to give that a go. So we shall see whether that kind of, you know, pans out okay. So what I'm going to do, I haven't got a ruler. I'm really winging a prayer type stuff here. I'm going to just go over where it's got the red lines on this, you know, this ledger kind of page. So I'm just using some paper there as a, you know, as a ruler. We're just going over it in the green like that. I'm just going to then, you know, just do like a line under here, just because that's a sort of signature type look, isn't it, for a library card, and maybe have a double line. So like that. Okay, and then on here, do we want any lines? I don't think we do. And I'm just going to take my Stays On. So Stays On in green, and I'm just going to do, yeah, I might just do a little, no, not going to do that. I'm going to use this. So these are those lovely stamps, which I do have these in my shop on my website. I'm going to do some of these. Now, might take this one, and yeah, might try and do it so I don't get necessarily the full-on borders, if you see what I mean. So brought along my new stamp block as gifted to me by the lovely Michelle. So I'm going to put it on there. Now, I'm going to go in with my ink pad, but hopefully missing the borders a bit. So I'm just going to stamp that off on here and see how it's turned out. Oh, well, I did get the borders quite a lot, but, you know, I can just do that again. So just go over the, you know, predominantly texty type parts. There we go. Oops, check I've got it the right way up. So just going to stamp that maybe onto here, right the way in the corner. Yeah, like that. Okay. Oops. Turn my pocket over. Like that. And then on the actual pocket itself, just so as it's got some kind of matching things, I'm just going to stamp something else on there in green. So I've got this one. Again, let's just stamp this off onto the paper and just kind of check how it's going to look. Is that up the right way? I can't actually see. Oh my goodness, my eyesight. Oh dear. Right, I think I want to turn it up. Okay. So we'll just have this under the number tab like that. Okay. Right, in hindsight, I have to say, I think this would have worked much better with plain paper. I thought it would look really cute with the pattern papers. Oh, now look what I've done. I've now got ink over here. Yeah, I thought it was going to look really nice with the pattern paper, but to be honest, I think it's fine, not necessarily with the stamped details. So I'm just going to ink around my pocket. Yeah, and I will probably refrain from stamping on the rest. So yeah, a bit of a shame really, because you know, I guess they're not quite so much like the faux library cards, although this one I really like, to be honest. So yeah, it's a mixture. Okay, so just using this vintage photo to get some colour on there. There we go. Well, I mean, it's quite nice, isn't it? Not over keen on this. So let's cover that up now quickly. So yeah, I brought along some of my bits from my fun photos, and yeah, let's take one of these. So actually what I'm going to do, I think, is have one of these ladies, and I'm going to put her over here. She will cover up that where I've stamped on that with the green. So again, just take her, quickly cut her out. Okay. Yeah, so if like me, you decide to use patterned paper, I would probably recommend don't bother trying to stamp all over it, because it's going to look rubbish. But, you know, it was worth a try, wasn't it? Because you can't tell till you try something. And hey, it's all fine, because like we always say, everything can be covered up. So all we're going to do is, you know, pop this lady over where I've stamped, and then it's covered up anyway. So it really isn't a big deal. There we go. She's just going to go on there. And then that looks fine, doesn't it? So yeah, it's, you know, no harm done. It all has panned out absolutely fine anyway. So just pop her down there like that. I've had her hanging off the pocket a bit. That's that skinny pocket that I made, and I think it looks, you know, looks quite cute, doesn't it? Having her just hanging off to the side a little bit. So yeah, quite like that. Now I just happen to have in my drawer behind me, got this dark green ribbon, which I suddenly kind of remembered as I was playing around with this. And I've got some of my little curly buckles. So I'm just thinking, I mean, obviously I'm now over decorating this, which wasn't really what this challenge was about. But having said that, you know, they're your pockets, aren't they? And, you know, it's up to you, obviously, how you finish them off. But just thinking, have this going across the top. Oops. Going across the top, which just then will also reinforce the flimsy paper. It's a bit of a shame because it's covering up my number tab. But, you know, I don't mind that. So I'm going to do this with the hot glue just for speed. So I just do a run of hot glue straight across the top. Pop that down. We can always put a number tab somewhere else like that. And then again, it's up to you really whether you want to just place your ribbon down at the back. This was some ribbon off, I think this was off some boxes of chocolates or something like that. Oh no, it was off the Christmas crackers, that's it. And it's just been sat in my drawer for ages, and I just suddenly thought, oh, that would go brilliantly with that colour stamping. So yeah, it's great to be able to use things, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, so, you know, we've kind of embellished it a little bit more than perhaps I should have done, but, you know, I think that looks really, really pretty now, and it has reinforced that edge, which otherwise was just a little bit flimsy perhaps. So yeah, let me just check out my number tabs again and just see whether we want to have one anywhere else on here now that I've covered it up. So just take another one of those. Oops. Oh goodness, rubbish cutting today, absolutely rubbish. Oh, do you know, and I still then didn't look to see how long I've been filming for. I'm just going to put that one down there. So I think we've kind of brought this back from the brink and rescued it. I think it still looks, you know, pretty cute, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a lesson there for me. Don't bother stamping if it's quite a patterned, busy paper, because it's going to look rubbish. But yeah, I do like how that's turned out. And actually, I quite like the addition of the green on the, you know, the library card. Just makes it look quite cool, doesn't it? So yeah, that's that one. Right, let's very quickly do this one. So this is that giant one. Obviously we've got a whole big plain section here, so we can definitely do something here. So put this green stays on the way. Just thinking for the stamping. Oh, I wonder if we should have some pumpkin. Might be a bit orange, but well, I mean, obviously it is orange, but it might be a bit too orange is what I'm saying. Let me just check. Oh well, let's give it a try, shall we? Yeah. Oops, hold on a second, I've just got a phone call, hold on. Right, I just quickly looked through my stamps and I did have a saddle brown stays on. So yeah, we're going to quickly use that, and then I can actually do some, you know, some stamping onto the pocket. So I've tried out a couple of different stamps here. Not stamps, dies, you know, colours. Yeah, but I think we'll go with the brown. Now I can't remember which way up that needs to be, so let me just stamp it off again. Oh, if only I could actually see that. Who can see that to tell me whether I'm stamping that the right way or the wrong way? Oh my goodness. I just can't tell. I really can't tell. Oh, I think it probably needs to be up that way. Oh well, if it's upside down, it's upside down. It's not the end of the world. So I'm just going to stamp this onto here. Like that. Okay. And then let's take another one. Oh, where did I put the stamps? Over here. Yeah. And let's do, should we do this one? Do this one. Might put that across the top as well, in line with that. And then what I want to do is probably draw some other lines down there. So like we did on the last one. Again, unfortunately, I've only got this, you know, this green pen, which not ideal. Oh well, never mind. So I'm going to try not to press too hard, and then obviously once I've distress inked it, hopefully it will be, you know, not too bad anyway. So just put a couple down here. One, oops, two, and just do one down here like that. Okay, let's do another row like that. Okay, and then I could just do with like a couple of little stampy bits in there, you know, like as if you've got the dates. I probably have got a date stamp somewhere, but you know, heaven knows, trying to find it anywhere. So perhaps we'll do, I wonder if I could just do this, or actually you know what? I don't want to waste everybody's time endlessly looking for things. So yeah, let's just go for this, shall we? Yeah. Just checking that I haven't got anything literally right here, because that would be really annoying. Right, let's just do this. So again, what I'm going to do is, I think, just go in, trying not to ink too much into the borders, but try and just do, oops, again, that's upside down. Oh, what did I say? Trying not to do too much into the borders. Look at it, it's smothered, absolutely smothered. Try and get those borders off. Okay, so let's just do that one there. Like that. Okay. Okay, well that will do. And then just pop that stamp out of the way. Get rid of those, get rid of this. We're only going to get time to do this one because when I actually did look, unfortunately, I have yeah, run over time a lot more than I'd expected. So right, let's do a couple of lines down here again. Oh, should have kept the stamps out, shouldn't I? Because I'm going to have to stamp this now. Okay. Yeah, I quite like the green lines actually. They're sort of quite nice, aren't they? So right, let's just pull in this stamp here. Pull in my stamp block, which, oh my goodness, I only just put it in there and it slid right to the back. Oh gosh, now again I cannot see which way up this needs to be. I think it needs to be up this way. So yeah, let's pop that there. Just do a little bit of stamping up there. Okay, that's fine. Back. And then, yep, let's pop this way. Right, so we're going to just quickly ink up the pocket. Might put a little number tab on. Probably just use one of these darker ones. There we go. Quite nice. Just pop that there. Oops. Actually, let's put it down here like that. Right, I'm just going to ink around the edges of this. This is just single paper thickness. It's not been, you know, we haven't backed it onto anything or anything like that. So it's, you know, it's quite flimsy. Not coffee dyed it or anything. So the back's just stark white. But again, you know, we just ink around it and then it doesn't look quite so stark as it did. So there we go. And then this, we'll just go around the edge like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to put, yeah, put some paper into here, just whilst we ink here, so I don't quite ink all over the birds. There we go. So, I mean, that looks quite nice, doesn't it, to be honest? Yeah, probably should have had lines going right the way across, but anyway, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Right, so we've got that one and that one. And then let's quickly put something on there. So again, I've got my little pieces from the fun photos. Let's take another one of those ladies because that's quite nice. Have got those butterflies as well. Let me just see. They're probably a bit green, aren't they? But I wonder if I might have one of these. Printed these two to a page, so. Oh, I've also got these. Oh, now look what I've done. Dropped everything all over the desk. Oh my goodness. And it's all dropped into the glue, would you believe? Hang on. Oh well, the good thing that came out of that was, yeah, I discovered all these things that I also had brought along and then totally forgotten about. So let's just take this. So this is just from my buildings pages, where you get the buildings labels and the background pages, and there's a green set and a sort of brown set. This is obviously from the brown set. Yeah, this might look quite nice actually on that pocket. And then I've just got one of my bows which happened to fall down on the desk, so that might look quite cute like that, to be honest. And maybe just incorporate a couple of little labels up there. So yeah, as it happens, that was just quite lucky that they all fell down, because obviously I'd forgotten I'd even brought those along. So let's just pop that one down onto there. There we go. And then, yeah, doesn't this bow look lovely? It just kind of picks up that sort of bluey green colour from the background, doesn't it? I mean, it's not obviously, you know, it's not the same sort of colour, but it's just got some of the same shades in there, I think. So yeah, it looks quite pretty. And then let's pop this one down. So this is just my labels from my Junk Journal Basics Kit 2, I think. And then this one just is one of my labels from my Labels Set 2 kits. So yeah, let's pop that down onto there. There we go. Again, like I said, this paper is quite flimsy, this bird page. I don't generally use flimsy paper very often, only because I'm quite a clumsy person, as we just saw. So I would probably, before I went to use that, I would probably stick some other, you know, another sheet of paper on the back just to reinforce this and give it a bit more rigidity. But obviously, you know, it's up to you really, kind of whether you feel that things need that extra kind of layer. But yeah, anyway, I hope that you like them. And yeah, thank you so much to Rachel for the lovely inspiration with her gorgeous library pockets. So I will probably decorate these in slow time. Maybe I will do a video and we'll decorate some together, or, you know, I might just kind of decorate them quickly myself. But yeah, really hope that you like them. So thank you so much for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up. And thanks then. Have a nice day, and I will see you next in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.